You're listening to Saturday Morning Media. And now, back to our show. Here we go.
Hello, friends, and welcome once again to the GrantCast. My name is Baciocco. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for checking out the GrantCast. And a big shout out to all of our Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons who help make this show possible. Seriously, if it wasn't for them, this show would not be happening. So a big thank you to all of them. Well, I am recording this at the end of August 2025. The fall is here. We are heading into the end of the year. And it's my cousin Kevin and I, we text just about every day. And I always kind of like poke him a little bit because I will message how many days till Christmas. But he actually last night sent me a text message saying 120 days till Christmas. So it's we're getting close. I'm going to start thinking about the Advent calendar and all that kind of stuff. I want to start off with an apology, and this is going to involve something that might be a little squeamish for people. Harvey, my wonderful, lovable little dog, his favorite thing in the world is to chase lizards. He has never caught a lizard. They always get away too fast. But he will, if he sees a lizard run into a bush, we are staying at that bush for the next hour. If it was up to him, he's going to wait for any sign of movement of the lizard. And so with lizards and crickets, usually crickets I will point out to Harvey, and then Harvey will chase them and they hop away and they're too quick for him. But lizards, I usually don't point out. I would just see if he notices them. But the other day, we were on a walk, and there was a little lizard, a little tiny lizard. And Harvey didn't see it, but it was like scooting right past him. It was almost like walking alongside of him. And I go, hey, buddy. And he saw it, and he chased it. And the lizard did a big loop around me. And Harvey, hot in pursuit, so the leash is tangling up. And I look and I see the lizard like headed towards me. So I just step back, and then we could not find the lizard. I couldn't find it anywhere. Harvey's looking everywhere. We couldn't find it. Friends, I stepped on the lizard and I felt really horrible. Like, seriously, I still feel bad because I just feel that it's my fault. If I had not pointed the lizard out to Harvey, he wouldn't have gone after it. And so it's all on me. So I've been living with that regret. And I will, of course, in the future, think twice about pointing out a lizard to Harvey in that kind of situation. So I feel bad. All right, let's talk about a little bit more pleasant things. I spoke before a couple episodes ago about Dr. Demento and how about Dr. Demento is retiring. And he's been doing these really great retrospective shows where he does 5 years of his career, and he does kind of a retrospective of what happened during that 5 years, and then he will play songs from that 5 years, from within that 5 years. And so he's been doing that every other week, pretty much, for the past couple month or so. And then when Tom Lehrer passed away, he did a incredible retrospective of Tom Lehrer's career. I mean, I know it costs money to listen to the Dr. Demento show. If you go to drdemento.com, it's $3 per episode, which I think is worth it. I know some people don't think it's worth it. Some people think it should still be free. I don't know why those people don't want to support Dr. Demento for the many, 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 many years of amazingness that he has given us. But the Tom Lehrer show is worth every penny of that $3. And once you buy it, you can listen to it anytime. And there was so much stuff, and I'm a huge Tom Lehrer fan. There was so much stuff that was played on that episode that I had never heard before and did not even know existed. And my claim was, because I posted about it in the Dr. Demento Facebook group, I was like, unless you are Tom Lehrer, there will be something on this show that you've never heard before. It's that fantastic. And so I highly recommend that. Anyway, this past weekend, Dr. Demento did the years. He was back on his year retrospectives, 1995 to 1999. And this is about the time I started sending stuff into Dr. Demento. And a couple days before the weekend, Jeff Morris, who is Dr. Demento's archivist, reached out to me and asked me about the original recording of Debbie. Debbie, if you don't know, I have a comedy music act. I guess I still have it. I haven't performed it in many, many years, but I have a comedy music act called Throwing Toasters, and one of the sort of quote-unquote hit songs is Debbie. And he asked me about the original recording of Debbie. And if you would have asked me what the original recording of Debbie is, I would say, well, it's got to be on the first album that Throwing Toasters put out, which was Alvin. And he said, no, it's completely different from the one that was on Alvin. And then I was like, I don't know what this is. Like, I don't know what this song could be. This version of Debbie could be. And he did a little digging, and it turns out that I had sent a cassette tape to Dr. Demento with the song Debbie and the song Sometimes I Wonder, and he said maybe a couple other songs on it. And he had transferred that to CD at the time, and that's what he played on the show. And I have never heard this, and he got me a copy of it, and I think I'm going to put it up on my YouTube channel. In fact, I might do that right after I record this. But this is the original version of Debbie, and I'm 99% sure that it was recorded at Sonoma Blue in Studio City, California, which was a coffee shop, and it was a coffee shop run by a guy named Steve and his wife, whose name is escaping me, but she was just as important in running it. And I believe they might not be married anymore too, but I'm not discrediting her running it as well. They both owned it. But he was a musician, and so he was very catering to do open mics with musicians and, things like that. And in looking for where this original recording came from, I went to archive.org, and they have the Wayback Machine where you can look up old websites and see what the information was. And let me tell you something. I'm going to go on a little tangent here. The other day, I was like, I wonder what the old Walt Disney World website looked like when they first had their website. What did that website look like? I go into archive.org, and either through, I don't know, whatever means, they're not available. And it just really stinks. It's like, I don't know. That's why I like the Wayback Machine, is you can go back and look at old websites. And that's the kind of nerd I am, that I find that interesting. Anyway, but they had old copies of the throwingtoasters.com website, and there were these wet tour pages that I had set up where it looked like it was all HTML, but it looked like a calendar. And I was at Sonoma Blue twice a week. And so I'm pretty sure that recording came from Sonoma Blue. And anyway, the second thing about Jeff reaching out asking me about this was that I kind of suspected that meant Debbie would be played on this 1995 to 1999 retrospective. And it was. And I am completely honored to be, because these are, Dr. Demento's final retrospective shows. He's retiring in August. October, not August. This is August. He's retiring in October. He's going to do his last show. And to be included in, it's just amazing. It's just amazing to me. And I got that same feeling I got when I was sitting in my dorm room at Cal State Long Beach, and Dr. Demento played one of my songs for the first time. He played Money in My Pocket, which was a parody I had done of Hand in My Pocket by Alanis Morissette. And he played just a snippet of it. And I remember I was listening live at the time, and I just about fell out of my chair when he played that. And it was just the most amazing thing in the world. And so now to have this song played, I felt the same way. And I listened, David Akers, actually, patron extraordinaire David Akers, asked on Threads if Dr. Demento plays one of my songs, when we get to that song, do I listen to it or do I skip through it? And normally I would skip through it, but I will say that just because I've heard it, right? But because this was the original version of Debbie that I had never heard since, I had sent it in to Dr. Demento, I guess. I wanted to hear it, and it's crazy. And here's the other thing, is I don't think I go back and forth on whether Debbie is an appropriate song to be playing in 2025 because, or even, back then, but because it's a song about a stalker stalking somebody, and you're kind of, I guess we're making fun of the stalker, but, and how obsessive he is, but it's very, I don't know. I just think that it can be very, very offensive. And then I can't believe that I used to sing it to somebody in the front row. To me, that is crazy. But I think everybody kind of gets the joke of that. But I don't know. I just think in today's day and age, it may not work as well as it worked in the late 90s, early 2000s. But that's neither here nor there. I was very honored to have it played on the show. And the whole show was fantastic because 95 to 96, I'm in college. I'm listening to the Dr. Demento show live on KSCA in Los Angeles. And it's basically the same show as the syndicated show that goes out nationwide. And the other thing I realized is that many of the other people who were played on this same show have become friends. I'm going to miss somebody, so I apologize if I miss somebody, but it's like Tom Smith was played on the show. Luke Ski was played on the show. Tony Goldmark was played on the show. Rob Paravonian was played on the show. The Four Postmen were played on the show, and Amanda Cohen gets a mention on the show. And I know I'm probably forgetting somebody, but Tom Rockwell, Devo Spice, he was played on the show, and so and a lot of those people have become friends, and they became friends because of those years. So it was just a really cool thing. It was really special to be played on that show. I'll put a link to it in the show notes if you want to check it out. Again, $3. But if you only have $3, check out the Tom Lehrer show because it's one of the greatest. Is there a Nobel Prize for DJs? I mean, Dr. Demento's already in the Radio Hall of Fame, but man, oh man, that Tom Lehrer show was just a thing of beauty. So I'm extremely honored to be on the have a song played on one of the final Dr. Demento shows, and especially as a representation of the music that was happening at that time. It's just really, really awesome, and it's an honor. I won't forget, and I'm not being flippant about that at all. It's true. Well, I wanted to wrap up by talking about, I've noticed recently, and I think this started kind of coming out of the pandemic, where if I have an event coming up, if I have something I have to go to, I won't say I have a panic attack, but I start kind of getting anxiety about it. And I really do think it has something to do with the pandemic, because I don't believe I was like this before the pandemic. Before the pandemic, I was like, yep, I'll go anywhere. Let's do it. I'll go anywhere, do anything. Here we go. And so recently, I've just noticed that if I have things coming up in the week, I will start, and it's not major. It's like nothing happens, and I'll fight through it, and I'll go to whatever the thing is. But I'll just have this feeling where I'll have something in the pit of my stomach that's like, oh, I got to go do this thing. And so as I've talked about on the show, my favorite band is the Beths. Currently, my favorite band is the Beths, and they have been for a while. But and so they have an album release party that's actually happening tonight as I record this. And kind of early this week, like Monday, Tuesday, I'm recording this on a Thursday, I just started getting really anxious about it, and about getting there on time, and about what the crowd situation and seating situation is going to be like. And it's a very small show. It's sold out pretty much instantly. I'm very, very happy that I was able to get a ticket. But I just started getting all this anxiety about it, about getting there and being there, and what are other people going to do? Where is everyone going to sit? Because I also know the venue, and the venue is super small, and people are going to be standing, and how is the sight lines going to be? And these are like things I start not worrying about, where I'm like, oh God, what am I going to do? But I just start thinking about it, and my brain just keeps going. And then also this Sunday, there is a puppet slam, and I had signed up to do a piece with Toily that I have never done before. And so my brain starts going with that. And I realized yesterday was like, I just told myself, I go, you dummy, these are fun things you get to do. It's not like later tonight I have to go have a surgery. It's not like on Sunday I have to get a root canal. These are fun things that you get to do. So being anxious about them is ridiculous. It's silly, So it's not that I think like horrible things are going to happen at these events and that's why I'm anxious. It's more the fact of getting up, getting out of the house and going to them. So recently I've really been pushing myself. Like Peggy Etra, my friend from Puppet Up, sent a message and was like, hey, there's this thing going on at the Groundlings. Do you want to go? Their tickets are going on sale. And I just started saying yes. And I go, I just gotta do these things. You know what it's almost like? It's almost like because I'm out of the house, I know that I won't be able to get things done, whether it's toilet videos or a podcast like this, and I think that's where part of the anxiousness comes from is I think I start getting worried. It's like, oh, how am I going to have time to do everything else? But all these things are fun things. So I shouldn't be anxious about them. I should be excited about them. And so that's the frame of mind I've started putting into my head. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to go tonight. I'm not feeling anxious about it. Once I kind of kick myself in the old butt about, I don't know, how it should be, how I should be feeling. It has kind of worked so far. So I don't know. I just wanted to share that. If anybody else is going through that, don't be anxious about the fun things. And I'm not saying it's not okay to be anxious. I'm saying you can be anxious. I'm just saying I realized I was being anxious about really, really fun things. There's a lot of people like on the Beth's Discord who are upset because the tickets sold out and they don't get to go. And so, this is a very cool thing that you get to do. So enjoy it. And if you keep fretting over it, you're not going to have a good time when you go. That's the main important thing. You're not going to have a good time when you get there. And I'm talking to myself. So, enjoy it because this is a fun thing you get to do. And I hope that listening to the GrantCast was a fun thing that you got to do. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back in a bit with more of the GrantCast. I've got more stories ready to go that I want to talk about, and we will get to those next time. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you soon. Goodbye. This episode of the GrantCast was made possible by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons who've gone to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up a pledge for as little as $1 a month. Patrons at the behind-the-scenes level and above get access to a video recording of these episodes, and all patrons get access to the audio of these episodes, commercial-free audio of these episodes, the moment they are edited. Big shout out to all of our patrons, and a special shout out to our patron producers Eve Cunning, Kathy Crawford, Tony Urbano, Brandy, David Akers, Lee Thompson, Paul, Ricky Chavez, and Scott Armstrong. If you'd like to become a patron and receive episodes of the GrantCast before they are released, visit patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up your monthly pledge today. And thank you for your support. This episode of the GrantCast is copyright 2025 Saturday Morning Media, Grant Baciocco, executive producer, all rights reserved. www.saturdaymorningmedia.com.
You've been listening to Saturday Morning Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.